Hey there, everyone. It's Fred Thomas at Frame and Wheel, and today I'm going to speak about the Frame and Wheel Bike Valuation Service that we have. This service is for all of you out there who are selling your bikes on a Facebook group or online, and you don't really know what to ask. You don't know what a good price you should be listing your bike for. And all you do know is that you paid a lot for it, and that it was an expensive bike when you bought it, and that it's a performance bike, and it's something special. So this service is really for those of you who have a very nice bike that you want to sell. And that bike also has some special features to it. So, for example, a power meter is a good example, or maybe it has race wheels on it. And it's also for those of you who have something that you know is really special, like a classic vintage mint condition steel, Colnago or something from the 70s or the 80s. It's not for selling year old commuter bike or something like that. It's really for the performance bikes that really should have a high secondary market value. How does it work? It's pretty straightforward. You take pictures of your bike, right side, left side, and some close-ups too. Really, the better your pictures, the better the evaluation will be, because our information will be good. If we can see what's on there, the evaluation is going to be more accurate. You send that over to us, and what we'll do is produce a summary of the market valuation. We'll provide a range of what the bike should sell for. Now, this requires some work on our part. We actually, we have a database, and we go through it, and we look at the market for comparable transactions, and we put this all together. So it's time and effort on our part, and it requires that you send us a small cash payment through Venmo or PayPal, and that makes it worth the effort for us. And you end up with good information, and then you have a floor price. You have a price at which you can put your bike for sale, and know that you're not giving it away or leaving too much on the table, and it allows you to move forward with your transaction. So if you're getting nowhere, if let's say we provide your valuation and you're getting nowhere with your listing, we are very much ready to make you an offer, or sell the bike on a consignment basis, and just take care of the whole transaction so you don't have to deal with it. Right, so there's that. I'm going to now give you an example of how this works. I'm using this bike right here, which we did a valuation for, and it's a special bike. It's actually a cyclocross bike, set up with road components, and it's a great example because it has some special features that the seller didn't really know were there, or and the buyer certainly wouldn't know either. And also it's a very nice bike. It's got some very nice wheels on it, and electronic shifting. So let's see, it's a full carbon cyclocross bike. It's a Ridley X-Night, and a good chunk of the value is in the wheels. They're NV 3.4 carbon clinchers, and in the secondary market, NV's wheel sets can sell used for $1,500. The trick here is that in the rear, the rear wheel is quick release. The front wheel is through axle. This bike came out in that weird time when the technologies were shifting over. And that affects the valuation quite a bit. As a wheel set, it has a very narrow market. Independently, the two wheels would have a much broader market. So we assigned a value of $500 for the rear wheel, $400 for the front, and the frame set. Again, it's carbon. It's it's in great shape. Everything here is in great shape. It's clean too. But again, it's in a unique place because it will only run with a quick release rear wheel and a through axle front wheel. that affects the value. So we moved on to the components next, and the first thing that we need to point out is that the crankset is a Cannondale crankset, and these are actually very popular in the secondary market. The Cannondale SL, SI cranksets, they have a following, and they sell for $150 or north of that. The drivetrain is Di2, but it's a second generation Dura-Ace 9070. It's not the latest, and they do well in the secondary market, but they have already lost quite a bit of their value because we're moving on here. We assigned a value of $100 to each front and rear derailleur. Usually, you can't. There it is. You can see it. The levers have quite a bit of value, and any buyer looking at this bike would say, "Oh gosh, if it's Dura-Ace, derailleurs, the levers are Dura-Ace as well." Actually, they're not. This is RS 785, which is an unbranded or ungrouped lever set, and they're nice, but they're heavy. They're not the top end offering from Shimano. So levers and caliper brakes together, $100, and that was the core components. One thing that the seller may not have recognized in the valuation was all the wires, all the Di2 wires and components that are here. This little port here, there's 6 wires in here, there's a battery. These have quite a bit of value because they're very hard to get right now. And so we factored that into the valuation. We also factored in the tires, which are in great shape. They're 30 millimeter tires, I think, or were they 32? 32 millimeters. There's still quite a bit of value in the secondary market for Continental gator skins, $20 each. So that, without getting too granular, that gives you an idea of how we got through it. And in the end, we ended up with a valuation, a range of between $2,200 and $2,500 for the whole bike. And this allowed the customer to say, "Hey, wow, here's the floor price. Here's the price at which the bike really should sell." And what he ended up doing was bringing his asking price down. He started at $3,900, and it wasn't going anywhere. And he started bringing it on down, bringing it down. Finally, he got a buyer at around $2,500, and he went for it. And he was confident because we did this valuation for him, and he knew that he wasn't giving it away, and that the price was fair. The buyer was ready to transact. The deal was done. So that is the valuation service that we offer. And of course, if you just don't want to deal with it, we're standing by to take over the whole process. Also, if you get the valuation and you try and you still don't get anywhere, we can take over the selling process and deduct the cash payment that you pay us for the valuation from proceeds or from an offer, so that you can just free up your time and your mind from the friction of selling your bike. Great. If you got any questions about any of this, you know how to reach me through the social media or through the link down below. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be talking to you again soon.